In this video, I'm sharing the secret confessions of a perfume influencer. If you're new, my name is Sarah and I am a perfume reviewer. Please do subscribe and join this All the Perfume community. If you're not new, welcome back and thank you as ever for watching, all of your support, liking and commenting on my videos. This video is a tag and I saw it come up on Claire's YouTube, and she herself said that the tag was made up by John over on Scented Snowdrops and he didn't actually tag anybody because he didn't think anybody would want to answer these questions. But off the back of my story so far and how much I enjoyed chatting with different subscribers after that, I thought I wanted to film another chatty video, and I really liked the questions as well. So thank you to Claire and thank you to John, and I'm going to get into it and answer 16 influencer confession questions and just tell you a little bit more about my insight into the perfume world. Question 1. What's the worst highly hyped fragrance you've ever tried? Now, I'm not trying to get out of this because I don't have one scent really. I have a brand that came to mind, or a line of perfumes, and it was the Marc Jacobs Daisy line. Now, I do really enjoy a couple of Marc Jacobs perfumes, and I've talked about them on here as well. I love Honey because it is so refreshing and it's perfect for spring. I like Daisy Oh So Sweet. That is just gorgeous to wear, a really perfect perfume. But actually, with the original Daisy, I think it's kind of a perfume for people who don't love perfume. It's very pleasing, it's light, but I just didn't understand the hype myself. And thereafter, we've had so many different Daisy releases and I find them quite similar, hard to distinguish between. The bottles are really cute. I do love having the bottles and displaying them and everything else. And some of the scents are good, but it's just one of those cases where for me, the number of launches doesn't work. It doesn't leave me with enough different perfumes that I need in my collection. So that's what came into my head for hype. I think they are really enjoyable perfumes for people who have one or two in their collection and want something that's kind of inoffensive, not too strong. Question 2, do you gender fragrances? And if so, why do you? I don't like gendering fragrances. I think with the advertising and the kind of ideas that perfume adverts, you know, the video adverts for TV, the kind of ideas that they propel about masculinity and femininity are quite harmful. And also the fact that the narrative is usually about attracting the opposite sex. So I don't like it myself. My husband did make the point a couple of years ago that it seems odd that it's as though it's frowned upon for a man to wear a women's scent and vice versa, when the idea is kind of pushed that those very scents would attract you. So couldn't you like it on yourself as well as being attracted to it? So yeah, neither he nor I like gendering of perfumes. In my reviews, I do talk about typically masculine and typically feminine smells so that people know what to expect, because those are the things we're used to. But for me, even at 16, I remember wearing Eternity for Men because I liked it, and I, of course, with all the perfumes I enjoy, I'm happy to buy fragrances that are marketed for men. So most recently, I think it was Spell Caramel by Zara. My husband and I do still enjoy a His and Hers launch. Most recently with PR, I was sent the Valentino Born in Roma Extradose. You've got a perfume each, and it just feels like a cute thing to have. But there have been times when we've been sent perfumes like that and I prefer the man's version of the scent to the women's. That happened with the most recent Jean Paul Gaultier scents I reviewed. So we just like what we like really, and I personally wouldn't be put off by who a scent was marketed for. The niche world is very different and you get a lot less gendering in that. I would hope that the designer market would go the same way, but I don't think it is happening anytime soon. And maybe it doesn't really matter so long as, you know, within the fragrance world, within the greater world, we're not judgmental if somebody wants to wear something that isn't marketed for them, because it's all about choice. Like, it doesn't matter if somebody else decided it was feminine or masculine. What we actually want to wear and enjoy is more important. Question 3. Roughly what percentage of your collection do you wear? Not enough. Simply put, not enough. but I am working on it. I am trying to really go through how I display and store my perfumes so that nothing is hidden away or difficult to get to, or even worse, forgotten. And you know, it was quite recently that I was looking at the comments of somebody's video. It might have even been on Claire's channel actually. It might have been about not trusting influencers or something. And somebody said that an influencer, and they didn't even say the name of the person, had showed what they actually wore, and it didn't include any of her most recently promoted perfumes. And then I thought, well, that could be said of me often. But then somebody had defended that influencer in the comments and said, well, there can be all different reasons why you don't actually get round your collection. And that is me all over, because I don't even always wear perfume until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm trying to change that, but by the time I've done what feels like a million chores, I'm with my son every day up until a point, up until the afternoon, I don't get to it. And with the displays as well, perfumes in a perfume cabinet, I'm just not able at the moment to go through my collection like I want to, but I will change it. I'm going to layer, I'm going to take perfume out and about with me, and I'll get through my collection that way. And maybe not necessarily wear as big a percentage of the collection as I would like, but I'm going to spray, enjoy, test, watch this space. More perfume is coming into my life, but the not wearing it for me isn't an indication of whether I like it or not. It is just practical, real life being different to my kind of fantasy perfume life. Question 4. What's the least liked PR you've ever received? And again, I'm really not trying to be evasive here, but the first thing that came to my mind was the 3 or 4 occasions when I received like an envelope, like a kind of A4 envelope that's really crumpled up, and then within it is sometimes even a piece of paper, not a piece of card, that's just as crumpled up, and like the perfume or maybe a spray inside, normally a perfume. And I've thought, but this is PR. Like, why wouldn't it be, it sounds really ungrateful. Out of context, this will always sound ungrateful, but why wouldn't it be sent in a way that they know it will get to you in a good condition? Because sometimes I haven't even been able to salvage said PR for a photo. Like, the actual perfume probably by that point has got like a dent in the box or whatever, but definitely the piece of paper, the press release, just hasn't survived the journey. And I've thought, but isn't that what actually PR is? It's about like making the thing look as good as possible. So yeah, I've raised an eyebrow once or twice in the car, like if my mum was taking in my post, and then I've looked at it and thought, this is in a bit of a state. But otherwise, what I've actually been sent, I've only ever been happy with, really. So I don't have any kind of tea on that topic, just some surprise at things not being sent in a kind of post-proof way. Question 5, are you still as excited by fragrance as you were when you started? I have 3 answers. Yes, put simply, I am. I love trying new perfume and delving into a brand. And of course, experiencing and enjoying more perfumes from brands I already know I love. And then no. And the no as the middle answer is that when I started out, the allure of a perfume bottle was great. So if a brand was offering to send me perfume, I'd think, great, a bottle of perfume, brilliant. How lovely to have more, how lovely to try something. But now, because my platforms have grown, I do often have brands want exposure, but they're not prepared to pay me, basically. And if I've not sought out that perfume, if it's not my kind of thing, I don't need to say yes to a bottle of perfume just because it's perfume. So there's that's kind of a sort of new negative in my life. But then I'm going to finish on a yes, because I love being able to try new releases. That's a really lovely feeling, being able to try things as they're released, sometimes a little bit earlier, and also having the niche world opened up to me has been incredible, and being able to try different things that I wouldn't have been able to try as easily before. So 2 yeses and a no in the middle. Question 6, do you use meaningless perfume technology? No, I don't really know any, and I don't think I've really changed. I think I've learned more. I know more about notes. I can recognise certain notes more easily, and I'm willing to learn. I want to undertake a perfume course very soon, so perhaps my content will change a little bit through that, but actually I try not to be too abstract. And I think what helped my reviewing was having the confidence to know that there isn't really a right or wrong. So if I smell something and I say it smells like sweets, to me, that is its own truth. I'm just saying what I smell. And then if somebody else thinks they're smelling cough syrup, now I didn't mean to go very specific there on a recent perfume, but that is exactly what happened with Sabrina Carpenter's, what's it called? Not Very Cherry, Cherry Baby. Yeah, I think I smell sweets. And I think 3 years ago, I might have thought, oh, but does it? Do other people think that? Whereas now, no. If that's what I say I can smell, I'm going to, of course, share what I think it smells like. Another thing I really strongly believe is that you can change your mind. So it might be that 3 years ago I thought that a certain perfume smelled a certain way, and it's okay to change your mind about it because your taste will change. So if anybody ever had the inclination to go back and say, well, you know, you said that this smelled like this then, and now you're saying this, I would stand by, well, I've changed my mind. I don't lie. I haven't got the memory to be a good liar. So I think you can say what you think at the time, that can change, and that is all okay. And I read and really enjoyed a lot of Emerson when I was at university, and he is really big on you can change your mind, and I really think you can change your mind. So yes, I have gone a little bit off the topic there, but I just tell the truth as I have it then. I'm prepared that it can change, I'm happy to learn, and I'm all for hearing about other people's opinions as well. And it wouldn't bother me if I said something smells of sweets and someone comments, oh, it doesn't to me. I would just be like, oh wow, we really get different things from this perfume. Question 7, have you ever messaged a brand to hint or request for PR? And absolutely I have. And over the years I have watched or read people with a little bit of an attitude about this, like they wouldn't do it. They think it's wrong to, maybe they think it's like a disrespect to the brand, but with my understanding of what PR is, it's the brand wanting the perfume showcased. So if I like something enough to want to share it on my platforms, then I've got no problem with asking for PR because the brands can say no. And I do get told no sometimes, that's all part of it. And I don't remember when I started to ask for PR. It would have been when my platforms got to a certain number. I'm thinking Instagram really, because that's where I've got my main part of my following. Yeah, it would have got to a certain amount and I would have known that there would have been something reciprocated from me receiving the perfume. I don't do it as much anymore because the relationships with PR companies and brands are already there, that I've got enough to be getting on with. I have enough perfumes for content. But actually, with the video I've just filmed, I filmed the most recent JLo perfumes. A lovely subscriber had asked me to talk about those perfumes. I didn't have them. I asked the lady who represents JLo fragrances, because to me that's the logical way to do it if I'm sharing them and talking about them on here. So yeah, I will never say never. I will still do it. I've done it, and I thought that might be interesting to some of you to hear, because I think there are other influencers out there who wouldn't do that. And I think with anything in life, I'm a little bit of a don't ask, don't get. Like, you just ask, you try. And I'm not afraid of a double message either, if it's polite and respectful. I hate a double message if somebody does it to me and then not being very nice or respectful. But, you know, when I can absolutely see that somebody might not have had time to get to my email or message, I'm happy to do it again, because I think that's about trying and wanting to kind of get what you want in the world. So just talk to me about what you think about that. I would be interested. Question 8, do you watch fragrance content you don't actually enjoy? And I couldn't think what the motivation for that would be, but I don't. And actually I don't watch as much fragrance content as I would like, because when I have seen a couple of people review, and I'll get to the people I like in a later question, I've enjoyed it, but I think I'm at a point now where my time is so full that my leisure time can't really be more perfume unless it's smelling it and relaxing and being calm. I think I would be a serious overwhelm if I took in more information at the end of a long day. So no. But in terms of like not enjoying something perfume related that is social media and online, if I see things coming through from, I want to say brands, what was I thinking of when I wrote that down? Like maybe overwhelm from new launches, or people who are content creators but sharing opinions that don't sit right with me, or anything to do with diet culture, then I'm not afraid of a mute button online. I will do that. So I will, if something comes up that I don't like, I can kind of protect myself in that way. But yeah, right now I'm kind of creating really more than I'm consuming.
Question 9. What's your favourite influencer fragrance? I haven't actually tried that many, but I really do enjoy Empress by Soki London. It's strawberry, patchouli, popcorn and toffee, and it projects and lasts so well. And I really do love That Girl by Paul times Oakcha as well. It is a vanilla scent that smells like great quality, and I think that Paul's first scent was really fun too. So they are two influencer ones that I love, that I have, and I really wish I could try Nearly Noon by Sniff with Steff. That looks so nice, but sadly isn't easy to get in the UK. And then also Yummie and her vanilla range with skin potions. That looks really tempting too.
Question 10. Have you ever regretted a perfume buy? Absolutely yes. And I looked back to check actually. I have a whole separate video with my perfume regrets. And there was a video where I talked about perfumes that I wished I hadn't parted ways with, that kind of regret. But this video was about perfumes I'd bought and regretted. So very significantly, there was Vivienne Westwood's Sin Garden, which was a flanker to Boudoir, one of my absolute favourite perfumes ever. But Sin Garden was completely different. It was green and it was fresh. It wasn't like Boudoir. And really, it was my collector kind of brain and mindset. And I sort of tricked myself into thinking that because it was in the Boudoir line, I should like it, and I didn't. So I shouldn't have had that perfume. Also, around the same sort of time, I acquired Ange Demon by Givenchy. And it did smell good at one point to me, but not good enough. I just don't think there were enough perfumes that I was able to try back then that I liked enough. So when something came along that was new, I think sometimes I would convince myself that I liked it because I wanted the newness. Also in that video of regrets, I talk a lot about the celebrity lines and how I just had that collector mindset of having everything. So something could be quite lackluster and I'd buy it because I wanted to collect it. And I sort of convinced myself that it was something better than it was. So yeah, perfume regrets. I have fewer of them now, but back in the day, 15 years ago, there were a lot. Have you ever gone into debt buying a fragrance? Yes and no. So I just love chatting about perfume and life and money and everything else. So I will tell you everything I have on this topic. So I kind of borrow from myself. I don't borrow from a bank. I don't use credit cards anymore. And in fact, I don't think I ever used a credit card or got into any real debt for perfume. When I was lower on money 8 years ago, I just wasn't buying perfume. And I talked about that in my story video. What I will do is what I call go into a minus for myself. So on a technicality, the money is there in our account. It just should be for something else, but isn't needed yet. And then for my money, the money that I can spend on things like perfume, I would just say, I'm minus whatever. And then when I get money next, I will pay it back. So yes, and that is just such an easy habit to get into, because then when you pay a bit back to yourself, you don't necessarily feel like you need to go back up to zero or past it. You're just like, I can buy another perfume and just go further down. So it's a funny mindset to get into, but for anybody who wants to celebrate my successes, I haven't bought a perfume for 2 months now. I'm not on an actual no buy. I just am being careful and want to make sure that if something arrives in my home, I love it and don't regret it at all. So that's my feeling. I'm in my kind of Marie Kondo era again of things need to really earn their place in here. So that is kind of that answer. I want to talk about KKW fragrance because in 2021, nearly 4 years ago, it was the April, I had been browsing their site, just loving the perfume launches. And then because I had a really, I will say it, rubbish maternity leave with lockdown, like I couldn't even see my mum with Nathan, I then decided that all the money that would have gone on coffee and cake could go on perfume. So I bought, I can't remember how many, 8 of the KKW fragrance perfumes and very much enjoyed them and didn't regret it. But then the next year I bought 13 of them and I did this thing. So I really thought, I did think about it carefully. I waited until one of their sales. I didn't want anything that was just a filler. I wanted to really love all of the perfumes. But I convinced myself that I wouldn't need to buy any other perfume that year. I was like, well, what I will do, I will see it that each of the perfumes is like the perfume I get for each month for that year, rather than getting anything else, because then it kind of, I'm just getting them in one go because it's the shipping cost done in one go. And then every month of that year, it's like I got that perfume and that perfume. That isn't how it worked for me in 2022. I think we just like kind of paid that back to ourselves out of the greater money. So thanks to my husband for that one. Yeah, so I don't do that anymore. But a kind of debt, you know, not a true easy spending of money, but not like banks chasing me for money either. Question 12. Do you buy a fragrance just to create content? A few years ago, yes, I would have done that a lot. I would have known that by having certain perfumes, I would be thinking about that, you know, putting them online and being able to share good content as a result. Most recently, the one that springs to mind is Cosmic by Kylie Jenner. And I really do feel that I would have bought that anyway, because I would have had high hopes for her perfume, as I loved her collaboration with KKW Fragrance. But hindsight is a wonderful thing, because I then didn't love the perfume enough to keep, and so I've parted ways with it. But I'm really happy that I got to create the content that I did quite soon after launch. So it's like now I can see it was for the content as it was a blind buy, and I wouldn't do that again, especially as Kylie has released her Cosmic 2.0 and I haven't rushed to buy that, whereas a year ago I would have done. And now I'm thinking, I don't think I'm going to like that fragrance enough. I don't think I'm being sent that in PR, so that isn't one that I need. I have another recent example actually that I'm weighing up, and that is Prerogative Ego, which I've mentioned in a video that I've just filmed, because I think I might quite like to have that now. I just think I'll like that scent profile more than I did when I said I would never have it in my collection. And then I thought, that would be really good for my Britney content, but I just don't know if I can have that mindset anymore of spending on something to create the content. I think that would need to be a PR sample as well. Who knows? Maybe this time next week I'll be filming and you'll see Prerogative Ego here happily sat on my drawers. But yeah, I think I've changed that I don't buy it as much, but then it's not so much a self-control thing, it is having the PR as well. I need to less too. Question 13, what do you enjoy most about content creation? And I really love sitting there with my notepad, with my stickers. Not always, I want to be that person who always writes neatly and always puts the cute little stickers around the page, and delving into a brand, delving into the scent and planning it out. And I remember speaking to Sophie King at an event, or I think I showed her actually, it was when I was reviewing one of her perfumes, or I'd mentioned that I use stickers and she found that funny, but it just really makes me feel like my life has kind of linked up back to how I was as a child, because I liked stickers then, and it's like, I get to do something that kind of uses something I loved back then. It just all feels very, very good. Then I really like the community that especially YouTube is bringing me, and I like hearing people's responses. So everybody is so busy that I'm so happy if anybody could even watch my videos, but I love it so much when somebody will explain what it did for them, or if they've just enjoyed it, or if it's made them go and buy or try a perfume. That's really nice. I think the bit in the middle of actually creating it can be the hardest bit, but I've got better at that. I've got better at trying to work it into my life and make it feel a bit more natural and less of an effort. So yeah, and as life continues to change, hopefully I can just make more videos and feel like they're easier to do. This kind of links to the next question actually as well. Question 14, have you ever blagged and pretended to know what a perfume note is? No, I am not a good liar. I maintain I would forget my lies and get caught out, and I also just don't agree with it anyway. So what I find is that if I see a note in a scent that I just don't understand or recognise, I can't talk about it, I just won't mention it in the list of notes anymore. Maybe I would have just said it going back a couple of years with my reviews just to pay it lip service, but now I won't talk about a note that I don't recognise or understand. But I will say that my appreciation of certain notes has changed. For example, with mango, that's very different to my nose than it used to be, so I would appreciate it in a scent differently than I used to. And the same with patchouli as well. I never really used to kind of get what people were talking about with patchouli, and now I do. And linking to one of my previous questions, I just think that is life and all about change and growth. I can't possibly know back then what I know now, and you know, if you're just honest in what you say always, that's fine. I think the worst that can ever happen is that somebody will go back and compare a couple of videos, but this just isn't meant to be that space. This is perfume, this is fun, this is life's luxuries, and it's just a perspective on it. So yeah, I'm not here for trying to do more than I'm capable of. I will just talk about the notes that are relevant and talk about the ones that I can smell, or maybe sometimes the ones that I absolutely can't smell in the scent as well. Question 15, what's the best PR you've ever received from a brand? This was easy and difficult because I knew I had to say Kylie because I love receiving those packages. I've had a text today actually saying that my Huda Beauty parcel was on the way, and I really hope those guys know what these parcels mean to my life because they mean a lot. Yeah, but I didn't know which one. So I spoke to Sam last night. I was like, which one? What one would you say was the best one? And he really liked the Vacay in a Bottle PR. So you had in there a beach bag, beach towels, and a lilo as well. And those things are going to come with us on our little trip to Greece later in the year. I can't wait. But for me, I really liked the vanilla candy one as well, actually, because that had a board game in it, which we still have. I keep everything from the PR parcels, and I've played that with Nathan, and that's very cute. But I think it was the Oudgasm one that I just really loved, and I do know why. They're great parcels. That had in it the full bottle of the vanilla perfume, which is one of my favourite perfumes ever, 3 minis of the other scents, and the Bacor, so the wood burning, which I can see over there right now on my bookcase, and I need to use more. We're not heading into winter, are we? I keep thinking we are, but we're still in some cooler weather, so I need to use those. And I loved that PR, and I shared it on here, and it just felt really great. Also, we had a lovely kind of hamper type parcel from Yardley once, which had a preserve in it, like a chutney, I think, or something. And this is terrible that I'm now not remembering exactly what was in it. It was like picnic things, and I think I didn't take a photo of it, so it's probably hard to remember, but I know we were really impressed and we liked what we received. So yeah, I think it's amazing to receive perfume, but there is something really lovely about having the parcels that have other bits and pieces in them as well. Question 16, name 5 content creator heroes. And as I'd said before, I don't consume the amount of perfume content I'd like to, but with these people I will mention, I've seen bits of their content that I've really, really enjoyed, and in some cases been inspired by, and I've got 6 just to be awkward because I've remembered somebody else. So there is a lady called Ksenja, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. I did listen to her say it yesterday, and I might still have got it wrong, but I like her taste, I like how her videos look, and I think she's really great. I like Edgar O from the Gossip Closet. Over on Instagram, I really enjoy all updates from Roxy. My lovely friend Olivia, I think her Instagram content is really great quality, and her captions are some of the best out there because they're so detailed and well explained and thorough. And yeah, go and follow Olivia. She's got really great content, and she is one of the main reasons I heard about Kylie, so she's very important to me. And I really love Olivia Olfactory. I just love looking at her. She speaks so well, she's so entertaining, and my Instagram isn't showing me her enough, so I need to go into her profile and have a little look. I think her content is really great. I also wanted to mention a massive throwback to the Fragoholic. Now, I have lived in my home nearly 13 years, and I remember watching him when I was still living at my mum and dad's. He had, and they're still on his channel, I believe, a lot of celebrity perfume collections. And you know, he, I don't think he makes content anymore. I tried to find him on Instagram a couple of years ago, and I don't think he's there, but he had really great videos, and I bet he inspired a lot of people. So I think he's been really important in the fragrance community too. I've really enjoyed answering all these questions. So please, if you have any questions for me, I want to get together as many as I can to create another video where I answer questions. There were a couple of lovely subscribers who did send me a couple, which I will delve back and go and find, ready to include them when the video is ready. But yeah, I just didn't get around to doing it when I said I would initially. So now is the time. Please do send me a message on Instagram. You can do it privately, you can write it in a comment, but I will get together your questions and create another video like this. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, well done. I really enjoyed answering those questions, and I would love to hear from you and your comments and your perspectives. Remember that if you want to ask me a question and you want it saved for my Q&A video, please do let me know if it's one you want saved, or if you just want an answer in the comments, then I can do that too. So please do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe. Go and find me on Instagram. I'm over there a lot at the moment. I'm kind of back to my daily posting schedule, and I've got plans for TikTok too. So yeah, your support is so appreciated. Thank you for watching. Thank you again to Claire, who I got this idea from, and of course to John, who created the tag. I think they were really, really great questions. Just the right amount of sharing the tea, I think. And yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video.